They brought in Aaron Rodgers, and they essentially undercut all of Robert Saleh's authority. So yeah, he got fired, but he got fired because you guys left him out there hanging.
Boy, this is a bad look on Aaron Rodgers. He doesn't realize how bad this looks.
I'm wondering what they think this fixes. And this is a reflection on the Jets to me more than it's a reflection on Robert Saleh.
The New York Jets have just sold their soul, and trust me, they gonna pay for it. Let's break it down. Let's start all the way back at the beginning. By the way, before I get into it, if you see the change of scenery, yeah, that's because we live on the west side of Florida, and Hurricane Milton's gonna come in and just hit us directly, right? So I felt the best thing from me, my wife, and my son is to travel over to the east coast of Florida where my parents live and stay with my parents. So yeah, that's why the scenery looks different. Speaking about storms, let's talk about the media storm that occurred today for the Jets. Y'all like the transition? See, I'm getting better at this. The Jets fired their head coach, Robert Saleh. And it was sudden. It was out of nowhere. In fact, Coach Salah didn't see it coming. There's a quote here. There's a few quotes and reports that the man walked in, was fired, and was escorted out by security. Wasn't even given a chance to give their team basically a final goodbye or some words of like, you know, hey, I love you guys. I hope you guys do the best. You guys are like family to me or whatever. He didn't even get a chance to say that. Okay. And that really surprised me. And I really hate this for the Jets. I really hate this for their owner. I feel like their owner let the Jets down in a really bad way, and I'm about to explain why. Robert Saleh was hired in 2021. One of his first moves was to hire then 49ers assistant Mike LaFleur. They had him for 2 years. If you look at that offense had no talents, no offensive line, no receivers, no quarterback. They had Zach Wilson and had no running backs or receivers to really work with. Eventually, Mike was let go of. And it's funny because when Robert Saleh hired Mike LaFleur, he was actually known Mike for years, known him since he was a teenager. He's also friends with Mike's brother, Matt LaFleur, who's the Packers head coach. Rodgers ain't the only person that's hiring his buddies. Robert Saleh kind of was too at the beginning. Robert didn't really get another chance to hire his own offensive coordinator because a wild Aaron Rodgers appeared out of nowhere. And now the goal became, let's get Aaron Rodgers. We have this promising receiver in Garrett Wilson who looks great. We have this promising running back in Breece Hall who looks great. Let's sign Aaron Rodgers. Let's make this happen. Rodgers gets signed, but hey, for you to sign me, y'all gotta hire Nathaniel Hackett as the offensive coordinator. Y'all gotta sign Alan Lazard, that's the homie. You gotta sign Randall Cobb, that's the homie. And that is my main issue with the Jets and them firing Robert Saleh. And as any coach, offensive or defensive, your main job is to, whatever your specialty is, make sure you're good at it, make sure you stay good at it, and whatever your weakness is, make sure you supplement that with good coordinators and good assistant coaches. Saleh wasn't given another opportunity to hire a good offensive mind. This year currently, Jets ranked as the second best defensive team in the league. They're giving up an average of 255.8 yards per game, which is second, and then only allowed 7 touchdowns, which is tied for second place in least touchdowns given up this season. He is doing his main part of the job. Keep in mind, he was not given a chance to do the second part of his job, which is to hire a good offensive coordinator because of the Rodgers situation. Let's look at what's happening with the offense. Let's look at Aaron Rodgers. Let's look at that man's numbers. Let's see how well he's performing under the Nathaniel Hackett offense. Currently, Aaron Rodgers is averaging 218.6 yards a game, which is tied for 15th in the NFL currently. So basically mid. Also has a passer rating of 81.6, which is 26th in the NFL, which is horrible. QBR of 49.1, which is the 21st in the NFL. Horrible. Completion percentage. I mean, this is Aaron Rodgers of bread and butter. This is what this man is known for. I mean, this man literally would throw away 50 balls per game just to make sure his completion percentage was looking good. 61%, which is the 26th best in the NFL. You know who Aaron Rodgers is right now playing worse than? He's playing worse than Daniel Jones. That's right. He's playing worse than the other New York quarterback. The guy that everybody's making fun of and making a huge meme for being a horrible quarterback. He right now, Daniel Jones is playing better than Aaron Rodgers in the first 4 or 5 weeks. I don't even blame Rodgers for that though. That's the funny thing. I blame Nathaniel Hackett. So Garrett Wilson in the first 5 weeks is playing at the same level that he was with Zach Wilson on average. Do I think Garrett Wilson just all of a sudden became an average receiver? No, I believe Nathaniel Hackett is incapable of putting Garrett Wilson in positions to succeed. I established in a video before, sometimes quarterbacks and passing offenses struggle. In fact, that is the reason why a lot of running backs have emerged and been playing great. And a lot of people are saying the resurgence of running backs has occurred. Running backs matter now. Saquon Barkley is carrying the Eagles offense on his back. The Rams having so many injured receivers, Kyron Williams is carrying that team on his back. So while a lot of offenses are struggling to get the passing game down, running backs are having the time of their lives. Breece Hall, who a lot of people expected to take that major step forward, dude was putting up damn near Christian McCaffrey numbers last year. Remember, quarterbacks and receivers are struggling at the beginning of the season, but running backs are not. Yet with Aaron Rodgers and a much improved offensive line, the running back play has gotten even worse, and I blame Nathaniel Hackett for that. The dude can't get the running game correct, he can't get the passing game correct. When Nathaniel Hackett wasn't no longer the coach of the Broncos, Sean Payton came in and said this is one of the worst ran franchises I had ever walked into. Like, the previous coach did horrible, and a lot of people gave him flack for throwing Nathaniel Hackett under the bus, letting Miami drop 70 points on them the same year. It was pretty funny. But the way Denver looks now, they look great. And the way the Jets offense look, it looks horrible. And I'm like, man, maybe he had a point. Now, am I mad at Rodgers? I think in a way he played a part. I don't think he marched into the room and told the Jets owner, I need you to fire Robert Saleh. I don't think that's what happened. But I think him wanting Nathaniel Hackett to be the offensive coordinator is what doomed Robert Saleh in the first place. Again, Jets defense was still great, was still performing adequately, and the offense has not performed well at all. But somehow you can't fire Nathaniel Hackett, and you need someone to blame. You need somebody for this lack of success. And rather than firing the person you're supposed to fire, you're going to fire Robert Saleh. And don't get me wrong, the Jets aren't having the best of seasons. And trust me, Saleh doesn't make a lot of things better. He has a lot of comments in the media that add oil to the fire that is the New York media, right? Like him giving comments about Aaron Rodgers, the way he calls plays and stuff like that. And I get it, he does a lot of things I don't agree with, but I don't think he's a bad coach at all. Most of his bad decisions have been minor, media slip-ups where he'll say something that I'm like, I wouldn't have said that. But nothing too negative though. Like, the dude did his part of his job correctly and was not allowed to hire a second offensive coordinator. Again, the first one didn't have much to work with, and the second one wasn't hired by him. Now I pose the question, what is next? What do you do next? But if you hire a defensive coach, guess what? He is going to be another Robert Saleh. He is going to make sure you have a good defense. Again, Robert Saleh had the second best defense, at least when you're looking at defensive ratings in the NFL. What's another coach going to come in and do? Have the number 1 defensive rating in the NFL? Cool. Again, doesn't fix the main issue, which is the offense. And if you hire an offensive coach, guess what? Nathaniel Hackett's still going to be the one calling the shots. Why? Because Aaron is the one calling the shots, and he wants Nathaniel calling the plays on offense. And Nathaniel kind of lets Aaron do whatever he wants. What is your choice? What are your alternatives to Saleh? A defensive coach is going to come in and do exactly what Saleh was doing, or an offensive coach who's going to basically get overruled by their offensive coordinator because their offensive coordinator is being backed up by their quarterback, which has the entire Jets organization in some sort of vice grip, like the way LeBron holds the Lakers. But at least LeBron is LeBron. Aaron Rodgers, talented, very talented, one of the greatest to ever do it, but he ain't no LeBron, you know what I'm saying? At this point, let the interim coach keep cooking. He probably gonna run the same defense that Salah was running and run this, and obviously let Nathaniel Hackett and Aaron Rodgers work out the offense, which is exactly what was happening before. So again, what did you accomplish by firing him? Nothing. And at the end of the day, I can't get mad at Aaron Rodgers. A lot of people want to put the blame on Rodgers. I don't blame them. You know the drama that happened between Rodgers and the Green Bay Packers organization. The fact that the man wanted you to hire a specific coordinator, specific receivers, even like Randall Cobb, who had no business being in the NFL by the time he got signed by the Jets. So knowing all those things, knowing that Rodgers says, hey, I want you to do all these things before you sign me, knowing that he had all this drama going on in Green Bay, y'all went ahead and signed him. Knowing all this, at the end of the day, I'm not gonna blame the Greek soldiers that were hiding within the Trojan horse that came out and attacked the city at night. I'm going to blame the security guards that let the Trojan horse in. The people I blame for this catastrophe is the general manager, Joe Douglas, and the owner of the New York Jets, Woody Johnson. Now, if y'all enjoy that, please leave a like, subscribe for more content like this. I mean, literally there's a hurricane, a beast of a hurricane heading our way, and I'm still out here recording. I don't care. I will record another video in the eye of a hurricane if something breaks. That's how much I care. So if y'all appreciate that, leave a like and subscribe. And yeah, for the people that are gonna get impacted by Milton, and by the people that were already impacted by Helene, Pray for you guys. We'll get through this. Promise we will. Keep your head up. We'll get through this. Peace.